It's not an AMA. Short recap about the games. This is a play-by-play. No Instagram, these holograms. Boy, these ain't the same. This our harmony, you know we do things a different way. We got in the room, come join the team, but don't be in the way. Stay tuned, join that Patreon. We do giveaways. Make nutted than ATM, you know they on a different wave. Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, pick a day. This our harmony, you know that we glad you here today. This not an AMA. This not an AMA. This not an AMA. Short recap about the games. This is the play-by-play.
Yes, sir. Week 3 is not quite in the books, but the main slate is in the books. We got 2 games left. I will say, Eric, today is wild would be, I feel like, an understatement, honestly. There's a lot of moving parts to get through today. We'll try to do our best to get through some of them. We also have a little technical difficulties happening, but we've got Mike sick. Of course he's sick. Igbuka continuing to show out. Eric, how's it going today, and what are you thinking at this point, man? Give me your overarching thoughts if you can.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about it pre-show, man. Like, there was like 17 blocked field goals, defensive touchdowns galore, injuries that are catastrophic to some of our teams. Like, this is one of the wildest weeks in a long time that I can remember. So, yeah, a lot of things to go through, like you talked about. And, yeah, let's do it.
All right, well, let's do it. Let's listen, I actually had a team, Eric, where I had a flex consideration I needed to figure out. Charbonnet out. So I'm between Najee and Burden. It was easy Najee for me. Little foreshadowing. Unfortunately, Najee tears his Achilles today, but my other choice, Luther Burden, blow up week.
Yep.
What do you make of this Luther Burden performance? Do you think it's here to stay, or do you think this is something that's a little bit more Fugazi?
Well, they talked about, switching up their offense a little bit, getting more players involved this week. So I think that was kind of talking about getting Burton more involved and get Loveland more involved too. So I think it's a little bit of a mirage, but it's coming here at some point. Like, Burton's going to start getting on the field more. He's going to start playing more. And I think this is just a small step towards that goal.
Yeah.
I think we're still going to have a few bumpy, walks down the road here, a little bit bumpy, but
yep,
I think I think Bird's he's still a solid player. So
yeah, I mean this is obviously good news. Still only 3 targets, so while that is a step in the right direction, I think it's a good step. But I still think he's probably going to be a very risky play moving forward. He ends up with 101 yards and a touchdown, but not saying better days aren't ahead, but I don't know if you even want to call it a blow-up, frankly, because he does get back in the end zone. But Rome has 62 yards, touchdown, only 3 catches, but he did again lead them in targets. Just a quick thing here. 3 weeks into the season, Rome has more touchdowns than he did all last season. And while this day wasn't truly probably as much of a blow-up as the hologram just gave you, things are looking fucking mighty great for Rome, honestly, for the year. He's leading them in targets, the clear alpha in this offense. I don't know what else you really want to say about him.
No, you touched on all the points I wanted to touch on. He is their number 1 receiver, the alpha wide receiver, and I think that's just going to continue all season long. So, yeah, he's looking good, man.
Yeah, definitely. Let me ask you here for DeAndre Swift. Do you have what are your thoughts for Swift? He has, I think it was 45 receiving yards today. Yeah, 45 receiving yards. Not very good day on the ground overall. But what's your takeaways from him today?
Yeah, he's just going to continue to be a solid RB2 for us. We just lost, James Conner for the year. So, he's just going to continue to be somebody that you can count on every single week right now to be an RB2, because Kyle Magnani is not doing it at all, and Roschon Johnson can't even get on the field. So it is clearly DeAndre Swift here and nobody else. So even if he's only, not performing here for us, like putting up touchdowns and stuff, he's still a pretty damn good player in this offense, and he's going to be important for them. So I think he's a rock solid RB2 going forward as long as he's healthy.
Yeah, I think he's just a volume play, and there's probably going to be better days ahead for efficiency, but it's not what I'd be banking on with him. He's just going to be thinking like, Tony Pollard, honestly. Hopefully this offense, though, what we saw today, dominating Dallas, would be something to continue to improve on. Caleb obviously has a great day. And here's what I want to touch on. DJ Moore, right? Only 21 yards. He does get in the end zone, so a better day for him. They gave him 3 carries, but it feels like, I don't know. I don't want to go overboard here, but it feels like he's kind of getting lost in the sauce, so to speak, honestly, like at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you
Yeah,
at
no,
with DJ Moore?
I agree with you. I posted it at halftime in the Discord. He was 0 for 0, 0 targets. Like, this is at halftime. So in the second half, he got 4 for 21 and the touchdown. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to be inconsistent going forward, but he's like a wide receiver 3 flex play at best for the rest of the season for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think, DJ Moore's in the way of our Caleb Williams blow up today. 4 touchdowns. I'll say this. I ended up sitting. I had a decision to make between Dak and Caleb, and I played Dak over Caleb. Mm-hmm. I will tell you this. Moving forward, I mean, I don't even know if I care. Probably there is an extreme limit to it, but it's like on defense, right? You want to find the defense. You want to stream the defense versus just those shitty offenses. Buddy, we're playing the quarterbacks versus this fucking Cowboys defense. It is atrocious.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you're playing Dak over Caleb like 99 out of 100 times. Like,
right.
You can't predict CeeDee Lamb's going to leave with an injury. You can't, like, even look at Dak's numbers still. They were 31 of 40, 250 yards. He had a touchdown. He had 2 picks, but like, you can't predict CeeDee Lamb being out. And the Bears just gave up a ton to the Lions. They're missing their top 2 corners, so I'm not kicking myself for that. But as far as Caleb, probably one of his best games he's had as a pro. He finally played within the system and the structure and all that, and had a really, really good game, man. 4 touchdown passes, 298 yards.
No picks.
No picks. Am I still concerned about Caleb? And am I ready to anoint him the guy again? No.
Of course.
He's way too inconsistent for me. I need to see a month of this type of play from Caleb before I buy back in for me.
No, here's what I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with any of the points you just made for the record. Like, I think Dak was still the correct play, right? Because the Cowboys going up against this defense is already the Bears defense is just as atrocious. But really, more to the point right now, anybody playing against the Cowboys defense has got to be in my lineup consideration. Yeah, unless you just have, the elite guys, Lamar, Josh Allen, because I think anybody, to your point, Caleb right now I think is someone that moving forward we should be kind of a little bit leery of still. But you play him against these Cowboys defense and it's freaking just wheels up for all these quarterbacks. So that's really my last point for the Bears. Let's go ahead and get over to – go ahead. Would you have something?
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, Jordan Love gets Green Bay or Dallas next week, so in Dallas. So fire up some Jordan Love.
And hopefully that's a get-right game because he was not his best today. Speaking of Dak Prescott, let's go ahead and just, make that pivot. Where are you at right now with CeeDee Lamb? Do we have any new news? And where are we at right now? I mean, to me, without CD, this offense, especially like you said, versus this defense, just didn't quite look anywhere near what we were hoping for, I think, truthfully.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of that has to do, everything runs through CD. So when you don't have CD pretty much the entire game, it's not going to, they have to change everything. So just from the looks of the pictures and stuff I saw on X, that's an ankle sprain if I've ever saw one. So he's probably, I would say, very iffy for next week.
Yeah.
Very much. 2 weeks maybe. It could be. I don't know. I don't know if an IR stint is in the cards, but we'll have to see on that. But it's hopefully hoping for better news now for George Pickens to finally get going.
There's no question about that. I mean, listen, CD, I'll say this. A player this talented, any of the elite players, regardless if I have them on a bunch of my teams or not, I'm never wanting these injuries to happen to players of this stature. And one thing I will say, too, though, on the flip side of that, right, this is why, if you just watch Money Moves from this week, I talked about how typically moving picks in sometimes is even hard to predict if you have a built really well team. Because shit, if you struggled out of the gates, right? Let's say you had like A.J. Brown, for example, on your team, right? And then you have this injury to CeeDee Lamb. Dude, you're going to have a uphill battle, and you may be down your first. So that's where sometimes just the injuries are rough. Hoping for the best for CD. To your point, though, George Pickens, I think, has a big opportunity in front of him while CD's out. He looked he looked good today. I think it's clear that he should be the 2. He's probably better suited to be a 2 in an offense, but there's going to be a lot of volume coming his way, I think, realistically.
Yeah, I think the volume's going to be coming now with probably Lamb and missing at least a week here. He had 9 targets, 5 catches, 68 yards, and a touchdown in this one. I'll take that all day for Pickens. But yeah, I think double-digit targets should be coming his way here the next couple of weeks if CD misses.
Yeah, with you completely. Javonte is not coming up for some reason. There's a little bit of technical difficulties might be coming today with the server issue, but Javonte honestly just rock solid, dude. 7.6 a carry. They're just down tremendously in this game. So
yeah,
wild one. Speaking of wild, people were wildly panicked on one AJ Brown, and why so serious, buddy? He's back. At least here's the thing about this game, though. If you didn't watch it, the Rams took a commanding lead early, and this is kind of, I think, one of the things that will be interesting to see moving forward. I don't think you're going to see a ton of Eagles game scripts where they get into this situation. And this is kind of what woke up the offense for as far as the volume and passing. But, man, they're up huge, and they go scoreless. The Rams go scoreless in the fourth quarter and majority of the third quarter, I think, as well. So they come back and win this game and then have a blocked field goal, which was insane, the amount of blocked field goals today. It was far from the first. Yeah. But they take a blocked field goal to the house for a real bad beat. Overarching takeaways today for you with A.J. Brown and the passing offense here in Philly?
Yeah, so kind of to piggyback what you were saying, they went into halftime, they were down, whatever it was, they were down by quite a bit, and I hope Nick Sirianni told this fucking offensive coordinator, look, start being fucking aggressive, start throwing the ball downfield, start getting our guys involved, because the first, 2 weeks and a half of football, they've been playing scared, man. I don't know what it was. Like, their offense was like, let's just not play not to lose. We're just going to do all these little dinks and dunks. Like, they haven't been throwing the ball downfield at all. So whatever Sirianni said to that offensive coordinator at halftime got him like in that mode to like, okay, let's fucking start throwing the ball downfield. Let's start being aggressive. And the offense completely turned around and started to look like the offense we saw last year when they were just kicking everybody's ass every single week. So hopefully we're getting this more going forward. Like you talked about, A.J. Brown, 10 targets in this one, 6 for 109 and the touchdown. Finally looked like the A.J. Brown we all know. Slim Reaper, 9 targets, 8 catches, 60 yards and a touchdown. He did great. So, yeah, it was a good day for the Eagles.
Definitely. I think, honestly, in a weird way, how would I put this? Like, this might be a weird situation for it to start, but the offense, I think, felt like it opened up a lot in the second half. And I think the best thing, if you have these pass catchers, which I'd have a ton of shares of A.J. Brown, Smitty, littered across my teams, Goddard even, you're hoping for, I think, while this wasn't how you expected them to come out and get punched in the mouth early, maybe this actually is something they can kind of carry out into further games where it's not so stale on the offense and just continually running the football over and over. I mean, Jalen Hurts is, I don't know. This is for the day that he started to finish with 4 touchdowns, only a little over 200 in the air, but I mean, huge day for Jalen Hurts. And Saquon would be the, I don't know, odd man out, I suppose. But
I mean, only 4 people touched the ball in this offense: Jalen, Barkley, Smith, and Brown. That's it.
Yep.
Like, Goddard had the touchdown, but he only had 2 targets, and that was his only catch on the day.
Yeah, he had one catch for 33, right?
They literally do not give the ball to anybody else. So just play these 4 guys every week and hope for the best.
Yep. I mean, that's the one good news, too, is when you saw this type of passing volume go up, I think maybe, we saw a Mechie catch or a Dotson catch here and there, but by and large, this is very much a consolidated offense across the board. Taking a look at the other side here for the Rams. Dude, this is a tough loss, man. This is a really tough loss if you're the Rams. The way they played early, dominating the football game early. I mean, I even put a comment in the Discord in the Big Meat Big Drink, which is our Savage tier, like fly Eagles fly, because they were just they looked inept early, and the Rams really kind of pissed down their legs, so to speak, down the stretch. But it was a promising day, I think, that got completely thwarted at the end there.
Yeah, their defense didn't step up. That's basically all it was. But the offense played pretty well. Like Stafford had 2 touchdown passes. Puka and Devontae did really good. How about that? They ran for 160 yards total as a team on this Eagles defense, which is a very good run defense.
Very much.
Byron had 94. Blake Corum had 53. Pretty good day for the Rams rushing game for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Kyron doesn't get in the end zone, right? Well, on the ground. On the ground. He did have one in the air, but didn't get in on the ground. But you put almost 100 yards up on this Eagles defense, to your point. Crazy day. Blake Corum's actually starting to get more and more involved, which I don't know how much, depending on if you like Corum or not and how much you have him, good thing or not. But I will say this. Both Puka and Kyron here and Vontae Adams all dude, Puka Nacua today, 15 targets was, man, he's while they're still force-feeding Devontae Adams the ball a lot too, Puka's getting a ton of work. He gets a little over 100 yards, I believe, like 115 or something. But, dude, he's just a set it and forget it. Where would you have him in Dynasty right now in your ranks? Is he top 5 for you?
Yeah, he's probably 5th with me. Chase, Lamb, Jefferson, and Malik Neighbors.
And then him. That's where
he's
I'm
top
with you.
5.
I'm with you there. I think I put him in like Amon-Ra right there in that same next tier 2 for sure. He's great. Devontae Adams gets away with a push here in the end zone, but not necessarily truly a blow up game. But I'll say for Puka to have 15 targets, to still him almost have 10. Man, that. You talk about consolidation in this offense, we have in Philly. This is very much the same thing over here in LA. So good news for you, Devontae Adams shares, right now at least.
Rams have always been this way with, Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp back in the day. To Kupp and Puka, just they consolidate the offense. Like they don't even use these tight ends anymore. As long as Nacua and Adams are out there healthy, they might use a third receiver. So like Jordan Whittington's been getting the ball. So yeah, they're a concentrated offense too.
Absolutely. Going to the Bucs game here, Baker Mayfield. How do you feel about the day today for Tampa?
Not great. I mean, they gave up 21 points in the fourth quarter after absolutely just shit kicking them all game long, and then gave up 21 points in the fourth quarter. Like. I was downstairs doing something really quick, like laundry or something, and I came back and I said the Jets took the lead or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck did that happen? They were getting kicked all game long. So that was pretty crazy to see that. But great fight by the Jets. And, yeah, Tampa Bay still 3-0. Their rest of their division is complete dog shit. They are 1-2 from the Falcons, 1-2
Atlanta
Panthers.
Today, which we'll get to that Atlanta Panthers game. I mean, listen, I would not have seen – if you told me one team was going to be 0 points in that game, it would have been the Panthers easily for me, I would have said. Wild. So, yeah, I mean, Baker has I think, because of the way they were leading, kind of more of a pedestrian day. Bucky also, though, kind of has a pedestrian day. He saves it a little bit in the air with 4 catches for 33, but he felt like he was really inefficient on the ground, I think would be the way I'd put it.
Yeah, 2.6 per carry, not very good. But I still like him, man. Like they were missing 3 offensive linemen, so I'm not putting that all on Bucky at all.
I was just about to touch on that. When are we expecting them to be back? As one thing I don't actually know, and I think we need to look into for this offense.
Sounds like Worse and Godwin will be back next week.
Okay.
So they'll get their left tackle and a wide receiver back. I think the right tackle just got put on IR, so he's going to be missing here for a bit.
He's out, yeah.
And the other one, yeah. So, yeah, they're like – I don't want to say they can put it on cruise control, but the rest of their division isn't very good. So they can kind of – take it a little bit easy here. I don't think they have to panic. I think they're the team to beat in this division.
Definitely. Now, you don't want to take your foot off the gas, so to speak, but I'm with you.
No, not at all.
Listen, Igbuka not a blow up today, but I will say this: Evans going down. What do we know about Evans? And then also to your point with Godwin coming back. At the moment, though, I think you can make the case that Ibuka might be in the mix for the one on the offense already.
Yeah, I think he's definitely overtaken Godwin, and I think it's going to take Godwin a couple weeks to actually get going. But I don't think he's going to be stepping in and doing what he did last year. I think Ibuka has firmly taken that spot over Evans. I'm not sure what more on the injury front we're going to have there, but he's one of the toughest players in the league. Like, if he can play, he's going to play. Even if he has to miss a week, I'm not too worried. But he saved you with a touchdown today. And then Ibuka, like, that was a guy I benched in a couple spots because they said, "Oh, we're going to monitor his snaps." Well, guess what? They didn't monitor shit.
Yep.
I'm gonna look up how many snaps he played. That's not available yet, but his
snap shares normally don't come out right away just because they have to go through and comb over. But I mean, this is what I'll say is he ends up leading them in targets, and then also that catch on the sideline. While they didn't give him credit, right? It was called incomplete. I mean, outrageous concentration. I think this early on in his career, for him to have these type of opportunities, he did have a drop last week as well, where I mean, he's being trusted as you could be in these late game scripts with targets to possibly win them the game or put them in position to win these games. Frankly, I don't think you could ask for much of a better start for Ibuka other than maybe he catches that ball that he drops in week 2, honestly. So great start for him.
He's definitely the leader in the clubhouse for Rookie of the Year for me.
Yeah, well, and someone put in the comments here, we will see if I can get this hologram to work, but Hampton, with the Najee injury, ended up having a breakout game, which we'll get to here in a minute. But let's go ahead and touch on the Jets. I mean, listen, this game was so weird. I was expecting really it to be complete dog shit. We were watching dog shit from this offense. And then all of a sudden, I mean, you touched on it. I think they scored 3 times. It was either in the late third or all of them in the fourth.
Quarter, all in the fourth, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, buddy, this game was out of hand and then became a game in a hurry. Garrett Wilson, 13 targets, not to be surprised there. He always gets targets. But he ends up with 10 catches, 84, and a touchdown here. Where are you at with Garrett Wilson? He's still like kind of really scary, realistically, with the passing in this offense, whether it is Taylor, whether it is Fields, and what have you. But, through 3 weeks, somewhat getting it done, frankly.
For Garrett Wilson, you said?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he's got it done, man. 3 weeks in a row, pretty much. Last week wasn't very pretty, but he still did pretty good. Didn't get in the end zone. But today, 13 targets, 10 catches, 84 yards, and a touchdown.
Yep.
I'm taking it, man. You just kind of put him into your lineup. He fell to me in the 5th round in a lot of redraft leagues because everyone was so scared of Fields and all that. But for this guy that's going to get 10-plus targets a game, you just kind of take that guy and go with it, even if you don't really like him. Like, I was scared of the Field situation and all that, and rightfully so. But, hey, he's still getting the targets, and Garrett Wilson is still a damn good player in this league. So, yeah, 10 for 84, touchdown. He's still getting double-digit targets every week. You just start him.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like somewhat in the ilk of Malik. I think Malik is more talented and has shown more, obviously, early in his career than did Garrett Wilson. But the same idea where they may have rough days offensively. They may be in bad situations. He may have some really gross days. But by and large, he's going to be looking at 10-plus targets in the worst of game scripts where even if it's a gross game, he'll probably end up with 8 or 10 points as a floor, right? But he still is capable of giving you those 80, 100, 120-yard games and a touchdown or two. So definitely not the sexiest by any means, but honestly, the Breece Hall and Braylon situation today was kind of just gross. On the ground, there was nothing really to be had. Leading rusher for them was Tyrod Taylor at 48. Let's go ahead and get into E. Listen, we talked about it on the grind. I think neither one of us gave us, when I say us, the Browns, any type of a chance to win this game. They do win this game. Crazy fucking game, and what a weird low-scoring situation too. Are you think these Browns are legit on defense? Because they just got gashed last week.
Absolutely, dude. Like, okay, I'm a little suspect still of the secondary and all that. Like, I think they're solid, but they can be beaten.
Yeah.
Good luck running on these fucking guys, man. They just shut down Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Chase Brown. Throw whoever you want in front of the Browns. They're stopping them. I think next week they got the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking great for Montgomery, and I mean Gibbs can get it done in the receiving game, but we're going to see next week too. That's another big test. Like they faced like 4 running backs that we drafted in the first 2 rounds of our leagues this year. So
yeah,
they've had a gauntlet, and they've stepped up to the challenge every single week, man.
They have. Let me ask you, for the Browns on offense, it was David Njoku was the leader in the clubhouse on receiving, and I have him up here, but I mean, listen, it was 40 receiving yards. Dude, what do you make of the passing offense here in Cleveland today? It was fucking rough, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of pressure getting to Flacco. Flacco was getting hit left and right, so which I expected fully from the Packers defense that's been fantastic this year. But yeah, Flacco wasn't his greatest game, but I think a lot of it had to do with the pressure and stuff. But he was able to still keep them in the game and get it done, man. And running game, it's all Quinchon Judkins. Dylan Sampson had 1 carry, 2 yards, didn't have anything in the receiving game. So they put Jerome Ford in there to catch the ball a little bit. So that scares me a little bit. But it's the Quinchon Judkins show from here on out. He is the starting running back. He's going to get all the carries.
Yep, it's awesome too. No mic here, and trying to get my freaking. Some of these holograms just won't come up today, unfortunately. Quinchon's was one that I had made last week too, but this was Dylan Sampson MIA show, and just as far as overall opportunities, dude. Dylan Sampson, if you look at even in the receiving department, non-existent today. This was the Quinchon show. He goes for a touchdown. He goes for almost 20 carries. I mean. Also, to think about this, how bad the offense looked at rushing the football, and then for Quinchon to go 5 yards a carry today, it's the only thing they have in the backfield actually at the moment right now, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, he's all they got in the backfield right now. I think Sampson's still really talented. I just think they need to get him in there. Like, enough with this Jerome Ford shit, honestly. Like,
Jerome Ford.
Let's play the.
I think Jerome Ford needs to get put, deal him if possible, put him on the practice squad. It's time to move on. You're not going to pay him, and there's not really any point in seeing what you have with him, maybe as a body and waiting, but I'm with you. Put Sampson in more. But I will say this. I hope you listened and tried to move your fan and shares. I think he's still got plenty of good days ahead, but I just think for him going for a first is probably it shouldn't be happening.
Oh, yeah, you're pressing the button every time if somebody sends you a first or Herald fan, and you're just pressing the button.
Well, you should have. If it was out there and you didn't, I just don't know if that's going to continue to come because of the fact that I think the reality is the targets for Njoku and him will kind of be meshing.
Split.
Yeah. Like one day, we have Njoku with more targets, the next day it might be Fannin, but I think overall they're going to kind of eat into each other's workload. So outside of – legitimately, here's what I'll say about this game. Outside of Quinchon, I don't really give a shit about much of the Browns, frankly. Like in best ball I do, but – I'll play Jeudy. I'll play Tillman here and there, but it's not something I'm real excited about, frankly.
That was the one guy I wanted to ask you about is what do you think about Jeudy? Like, he was just smashing with Jameis Winston last year. And I figured, okay, with Flacco, veteran receiver, he can run good routes. Like, him and Flacco will probably mesh pretty well. Do you think it's just these 3 tough matchups that they've had to start the year? And maybe here against Detroit, we'll get a little bit better off. Should we hold on Jeudy, or do you think Judy's just going to have this really up and down year?
I think you got to hold him. I'm reluctantly holding, I'd say, because I think his market's already kind of been pretty spotty. I don't think many people were that interested at realistic. Right now, it's going to be people are probably going to be willing to buy on the super cheap. Like, I don't know. Would you rather have him or a second right now?
I probably would rather have Jeudy. Yeah,
and that's I think the reality. Like, I don't think anyone's giving you a first. And I think a lot of times when you get a second, you're like, maybe I'll just hold on to Jeudy and wait for hopefully better days ahead. I think that's probably what his market realistically is. And I think there's a lot of players in Dynasty that fall into that category. It's like you're not going to get a first realistically. And then if someone sends you a second, it's like, I'd rather just hold on to the player here. When we get to Green Bay, buddy, like you talked about today, I thought Jacobs would have a much better day against us on the ground. Dude, I mean, he's under 2 yards a carry today.
Just like Derrick Henry last week, same thing, same recipe.
And I was thinking that maybe it was because we played in division games and we're pretty familiar with a lot of the schemes and the way that they run the ball. But, man, weird as hell to think our defense has been what's making Josh Jacobs invisible and just the run game invisible for a lot of these teams. I'll say this. Golden, at least today, gave us some reason for hoping, believing in better things moving forward. He doesn't lead them in targets. That ends up being Jacobs. I think it was at 10. But Golden, I think, led them in receiving yards and caught all 4 of his targets. So this was something we talked about on the grind last night. We were looking for that step in the right direction, and I think this was a step in the right direction for sure for Matthew Golden.
Yeah, absolutely. He led all the receivers there with targets and the yards. They brought in Dobbs and Wicks to kind of take over for Jaden Reed, and they didn't do that great. Overall, Jordan Love was pretty good. 18 for 25, 183 yards, touchdown and a pick. The pick kind of killed them in the end.
Totally.
But he got sacked 5 times. Like, that Browns defense was ferocious today, man. So the Browns defense kept him in it. Flacco didn't make that many mistakes. They kept it in it. Obviously, that big interception at the end is what won it for them.
Yep.
But, yeah, it was a close game. Kind of reminds me of a couple years ago when they played the 49ers. 49ers were kicking everyone's ass, and we had to start P.J. Walker.
That was when CMC got hurt. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember that very much.
We ended up winning that game, too. Like, no one gave us a chance. Like, it was kind of like that's all week, too. And, the Browns pulled it off. And now they got to play Detroit, another tough game. So, in Detroit. So, we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, for sure. I will say Fannin and Tucker Kraft were the 2 surging tight ends in Dynasty Marketplace. Both put on, whales of underperforming performances. I think one of the fallacies or one of the dangers can be when the tight end position's you're always looking for inserting, value into that. You're always looking for this next tight end, and a lot of times we chase it when we end up just chasing our tail. Like, a lot of times there's not really a crazy stud in the making as much as we think, or we get to putting them above where they probably realistically should be. Tucker Kraft's a very nice tight end. I've been calling, Mike has been as well, since they got drafted, that he's going to be better than Musgrave. But there comes a point in which we're a little ahead of ourselves here. I think better days are ahead for Tucker Kraft. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying 29 yards is what he's due for every week, but to act like this isn't in the range of outcomes for him is kind of crazy.
Well, he had that midweek injury, and that's why I pretty much benched him in every league this week because I probably had some better options or closer options, even him coming off of that monster game last week. But, yeah, he's not going to be putting up 100 yards every single week. No, I mean, Brock Bowers doesn't even do that. So,
right.
He's a solid tight end one for you. You're just going to have some of these 3 for 29 weeks, even from your best tight ends.
Yep, and I will say Wicks was, I think, one of the players that a lot of people were saying, hey, this is a huge opportunity. Jaden Reed out. This could be Dontavian Wicks' opportunity to step up. He gets 4 targets, but, again, not really much here. It was an underwhelming day offensively for both teams. I think better days are ahead from Wicks, but I think Wicks shouldn't be treated as really much more than just truly boom or bust, honestly. And there's definitely bust factor pretty heavily here. So getting into the next game, what in the actual hell happened, and how concerned are we, Eric, with this Bengals offense?
Definitely concerned, but I'm going to put a small pass on today because it is Brian Flores. It is the Vikings defense.
Sure.
They are notoriously one of the most hardest defenses to play against. Like, you even see some of the veterans in this league like, man, this is a hell of a scheme that you got. Like, I've seen multiples of those quarterbacks mic'd up, like talking to Flores after the game and stuff. They're like, your scheme is just crazy good. And I think a lot of that has to do with what happened today. Like, that's Jake Browning, who hasn't played in over a year, and going up against this Brian Flores defense is just not an easy task. So
yeah.
The one guy that is concerning to me is Chase Brown for sure. Like, this is a guy we were definitely taking in round 2 of our drafts. I was taking a shit ton of him, and he has not done fuck all this year.
Dude, today, 10 carries for 3 yards. I mean, buddy.
Yeah.
I think Chase Brown was already going to be a concern before the Burrow injury. Not to this degree, okay, but just because he kind of was peaking and surging in dynasty value. And it was like, okay, is he going to keep the snap share that was really insane down the stretch? Is he going to be as efficient? Like, he had a very tall order, I think, in front of him to kind of maintain value. Not saying he couldn't do it, but now with the change in offense here, it's scary hours for Chase Brown. I think better days than this are ahead. I mean, I pray to God they are, but I don't want to say I'm panicked, but I'm very nervous. How's that?
Yeah, I'm very nervous too, and I think, me and you kind of talked about it, trading him in a league, and I don't know if we'd be able to get those deals done right now because he's been so terrible.
We literally sent out an offer yesterday saying, like, if he has a bad game today. When I said that, Eric, it was kind of definitely in the forefront of my mind, but I didn't envision there was a day this bad, frankly. I didn't envision it was this fucking bad. T. Higgins, too. Listen, tell me this. The one thing about this is crazy. You lose 48-10. I mean, you get absolutely fucking gaped, Eric. This guy gets 2 targets after getting the bag? What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, that one is a little mind-boggling to me, too. Plus, Noah Fant got hurt and left the game, too, and he was second on the team in targets.
He had 5.
Where's Andre Osavas? He didn't even get a fucking target.
Dude, it's really hard to believe, frankly. This was, I'll say this. I think the panic meter for the Bengals is moving into the panic side. I don't know that I would quite panic as much as box scores say, but I'm definitely the reason I'm not panicking to that point is there's not much you can do about it, really. And I wouldn't panic sell any of these players.
Absolute worst case scenario. It can never be this bad again. Like, it's going to get better. Like, Browning's going to get more practice time. He's going to get all the 1 reps in practice with these guys. Like, it's going to get better. It's just today was just a terrible day. So I'm not that panicked on like Chase and Higgins and those guys, but Chase Brown, I'm definitely a little bit panicked on.
Yeah. Jefferson, listen, he's got the fire on him. He just has a fire built into his hologram. It is what it is. But it was 75 yards. It was, I think, a better day. It was one of those days also where I think if this game's closer, I think Carson Wentz looked okay, really. But this game was management, really. I mean, they got out to an early lead. They get the deflection interception to the house, and next thing you know, they're just kind of coasting offensively, I think. Ends up being a huge Jordan Mason day. What do you take right now of the passing offense, in general, the Vikings offense today?
The first 2 weeks were bad. And then this week was very efficient, 14 for 20, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns. They didn't have to throw the ball. But with McCarthy in there, if he was still in there, I was going to be concerned. Like, we get Addison coming back next week. His 3-game suspension's up.
There you go. And that's what I was going to ask about. Addison coming back. Do you think to me, the thing is, well, this was going to be with McCarthy. Now it's Wentz. But I think Addison brings verticality to this offense, where Jefferson has that aspect of his game. Obviously, he can do it all, but you don't want to make him a strictly vertical threat. I think seeing what we saw from Hawk today was really big, given the fact that I think verticality can be coming to this offense, and they're not going to be playing that from a huge lead like this moving forward. So it was a good day to have Vikings players, but I think there's even better days ahead.
I mean, you got to start Jefferson every week. I'm concerned about who do I start every other week. Like, I think 1 week's going to be an Addison week. 1 week's going to be a Hawkinson week. And, the other guy's going to struggle. So, like Adam Thielen, he hasn't done fuck all since he's came to the Vikings. Like, he's been probably one of the worst.
Adam Thielen might, especially with Addison returning, to me, I'm not going to say, but he's probably damn near droppable. Like, I'd be moving him for any fucking thing I could get, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, I'd move him for anything I can get. I'm not going to drop him because injuries happen and all that.
That's what I mean. I'm not going to truly drop him, but what I mean is he's completely expendable. I don't actually. Yeah. If it was a shallow roster, I might consider dropping him. But to your point, there could be a huge injury in this offense, and you might want to have him at that point. I have some crazy holograms that won't come up today because we have a server issue. Jordan Mason, I think, is the big takeaway from today. 116, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Granted, they're in this huge positive game script, but listen, Aaron Jones injury, Jordan Mason looked good. I think there are some really good days for Jordan Mason. We'll see. Hopefully he can stay healthy, but, man, he looked good today, buddy. Really did.
Yeah, he looked good. I'm going to look at it. I don't even think he played in the fourth quarter at all.
No. Both Scott and Akers saw, I think,
third quarter was
14,
his
15
last
carries between the two of them, right? So
Yeah, his last snap came at 1:43 in the fourth quarter, and that was after the Hawkinson touchdown catch. After that, he did not play in the fourth quarter. So this could have been an even bigger day if he would have played in the fourth quarter.
yeah, I was going to say also for the team, the Bengals, who, they have so much money now tied up into T and Chase and Burrow. Dude, this defense is just, getting gashed. Now, speaking of rough days, buddy, this was a true head scratcher to me. Now, I know in division things get weird, but this is a little bit beyond just your average weird. The Falcons scoring not a point versus the Panthers defense, which I'd argue the Panthers going into this week look like one of the stone cold worst teams in football. I mean, I don't know what to make of this, honestly, other than they got absolutely dog walked by the Panthers 30-0. Shout out to Jake, by the way. He's in here waiting for this moment.
Yeah, even just look at their Panthers numbers today. Like Bryce Young, 16 for 24, 121 yards. That is it.
Yeah, Bryce ended up saving your fantasy day if you had to play him because he did get in the end zone on the ground. But, buddy, dude, let's talk about the Falcons side first here. Penix, 50% completion, 2 picks. Yikes. Versus this defense.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I started him a bunch today, and he definitely screwed me over on that one. We were talking, Mike and me were talking about it on the trades show that I did on America's Game this week, and we were ready to, buy Penix for Mahomes, like sell Mahomes for Penix plus. I don't know if I'm doing that anymore, man. Like it looked like last week was rough against the Vikings, like I expected it to be, but this week I was fully expected fireworks, fucking tear this team up, and they were god awful.
You know what's crazy too? Because of how little the Falcons did, while the Panthers score 30, there's no way the over hit in this game.
No,
buddy, I'll say this: like, it was just horrible. We got to see also. I don't have a hologram for it. We actually got to see Kirk Cousins get under center again. Bijan has a solid day, I guess. I put it. He ends up with 5 catches, 39 on the ground to go with 70 plus.
He was over 100 total yards. So.
Yeah. So like in this scenario, they don't score. This is a good game for him. But everybody else, it just was not what you wanted. Let me ask you here. Darnell Mooney has 11 targets in this game. In the end of the year last year with Penix, it was like Penix didn't really want to throw to Mooney. All of a sudden, 11 targets here, but doesn't do shit with him. 44 yards. London has 55. Hopefully a day to forget for the Falcons, but are you panicked about their offense moving forward?
I'd say a little bit. Like, I think this is a very disappointing performance, but I think they have too many weapons in a weak division to not like get it going here at some point. Next week they play the Commanders at home. So Commanders, they've been okay, not terrible. They've been middle of the road. So
yeah,
let's see if we get a nice little bounce back this week from Atlanta.
Sure.
But yeah, this week wasn't great.
The one thing that I will say, like, dude, so Rico gets 10 carries, which turned into 30 yards and one, of course, a touchdown. But, like, in this game script, to think that Chuba only goes for 73, doesn't score, just wildly disappointing, honestly, frankly. Like, he got 2 carries for almost no yards, 2 receptions for almost no yards. But, in a game script like this, I would have figured Chuba has a day, frankly.
Yeah, but I think a lot of that has to do with Bryce Young not being able to throw the ball and like get them into these situations. Like they had the interception return for a touchdown. They kicked all these field goals. 1 yard run for Dowdle. Dowdle's the one who gets the touchdown run. Like they just didn't throw the ball enough to like get into these situations where they were in the red zone quite a bit. It's a really weird day from the Panthers. Like just kind of looking at this box score makes me think like, wow, the Panthers still fucking suck. But they got the job done.
The crazy thing is they were playing ahead early, and it was almost like they didn't have to do a lot on offense. They weren't asked to do a lot on offense, and were able to play conservative. But I think plenty of good days are ahead for Tet. He only has 48, 3 catches, but he has 8 targets.
He's the only guy.
Yeah, he has 8. He still has 8 targets, and so to me, the panic meter's not on Tet. I will say though this.
No.
What I want to frustrating because I want to see Bryce. I want to see Bryce play well for a game where they're actually in a game. Like, he scores early and then they don't ask him to do much. I want to see Bryce perform well through a whole game where they're not just like either getting dog walked and he has to come back at the end, or they're just destroying a team early. Obviously he did what he was asked to do today, but it just was very meh as far as stats go for fantasy anyway, although a huge win for the Carolina Panthers. Moving on, listen, I didn't think the Commanders would honestly look as good as they did today. I'm not going to act like they were incredibly good today, but this JCM buddy was not the guy today. McNichols has a crazy run, and this would be, I would say, what we would term, or Eric especially coined, a three-way fuck fest, buddy. This is exactly what that is right now in this backfield in Washington.
I posted it in the in our Discord chat. Rodriguez at the end of the first quarter, I think he had 5 carries for 29 yards. Bill had 0. So Rodriguez is the one who got the start here. Even still, Rodriguez still only ended up with 39 yards after I said he had 29 in the first quarter. Krosky Merritt had 26 yards and a touchdown. McNichols only had 78 yards because he had a 60-yard touchdown run. Mariota was stealing some rushing yards too. So, so it's like they didn't really have to push the pedal to the floorboard here on them. Like Mariota was super efficient, didn't lose them the game, 15 for 21, 207 and a touchdown. He just, they just kind of play keep away and
they just had this essentially they use Mariota as a
point guard basically.
Play it safe, check the ball down, make smart plays, run the ball when needed. Obviously he had I think 6 or 7 carries ended up being in the game. I don't think they can get away with this most times, game in and game out, as defenses will see this, but hopefully J-Day is back and the offense doesn't have to look like this moving forward. Yeah. It was super gross today, honestly, for what we had. Terry McLaurin was fine, but I will say this, Debo today was, I don't know how many people ended up playing him in this situation, pretty kind of gross situation, but you might have needed to. Very underwhelming for him today, 11 yards, so tough.
Yeah, I mean, I figured he would be an underneath spot for Mariota, and he would probably work out better than McLaurin, and didn't work out.
It was the opposite, yeah. McLaurin only had 3 catches, but he ended up having 73 total yards.
Plus another special teams touchdown. I think every game had a special teams touchdown or a defensive touchdown. It was, like I said, it was just a wild and crazy day.
Sure was. Listen, oh, you know what? Hold on. Here it is. It does work. Trey Tucker, buddy, CVCA High School. The fact that it doesn't blow up is just because of time's sake. But the guy has 3 touchdowns, which you would say, okay, fluke. And now 3 touchdowns for almost anybody's kind of fluke outside of the elite. But he has 9 targets today. They're trailing. He has been he's a thorn into the side of either Thornton or to Besh. A lot of people I think are invested one way or the other there. And Trey Tucker, you're kind of figuring goes away. I mean, this guy has been playing a lot of snaps and been getting a decent amount of targets. I don't know that I'm expecting anything like this to happen normally. He wasn't in any lineups. Best ball god today. But what do you make? What do you make of this moving forward? It feels kind of like he just kind of crowds the entire situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to be there all year long. He was one of the snap leaders last year in all of football in snaps played.
Right.
And he's just a really good player, man. If you just listen to the drum beats in camp, like they just talked about, he's really good. He's solid. He plays every day. He makes plays in camp. This guy is just a really good player. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Alec Pierce. We all don't like Alec Pierce, but he somehow makes, he did it again today, 100 yards receiving today. And you're like, how? This guy sucks.
Well, and here's what I will say too. It's interesting because to that point, not necessarily to Pierce, but I think a guy like Trey Tucker plays in the slot, very, very, very fast player, right? I think this is a guy it's going to sound really gross, but he goes perfect, very complimentary to what Gino likes to do. Get him the ball and let him kind of make plays after the catch, or he'll hit him wide open if he breaks one downfield, which he did several times today. Here's what I'll say. If he has, let's say, anywhere in the neighborhood of even 4 to 5 targets a game, it's going to mess with and muddle this entire fucking situation because we already have Jacoby Myers. We already have Brock Bowers. We're wanting to see what's going to happen with Jack Besh and Thornton. And I don't think this offense is ready to support really more than 2 people, honestly. So right now, I don't even know if it does.
I mean, they don't even throw the ball to Genty.
Well, dude, so let's talk about this. Genty is, man, buddy, it's hard to explain because you have to watch the game throughout, right? But like the amount of times I'm looking at, I got 3 TVs on and I'm watching. He's getting hit in the backfield. Like I'm talking way in the backfield, buddy. It is feels very predictable, and it's like they get into these situations where they want to establish Genty early, and then they don't, and then it doesn't happen, and then they get behind, and now they're throwing and they're trying like crazy to catch up. Genty doesn't have a single, to your point, box score target, nothing. We have Dylan Labe had a target, and Zamir White freaking had 2 targets. Like Genty right now for having 17 opportunities. Buddy, like in PPR leagues, I drafted him in Your Idiot League Mates, and I feel like the idiot right now. He's fucking doing nothing. Mm-hmm. He's doing nothing.
Yeah, I think we probably anointed him a little too highly, too quickly, and their offensive line just hasn't been very good. It's below average. So
it's been dog shit.
That's a lot to do with how they're looking right now. I mean, Geno Smith got sacked 5 times today. But he still had a really good game. So, I mean, the offensive line is definitely a problem for the Raiders.
Yeah. Speaking of problems, buddy, let's just go. Geno, I can get off my screen, frankly. Dude, what? I don't even want to touch on some of these games we're going to have to get into here. But let's talk about the Jags. The good news for the Jags.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Tootin, right? Gets in the end zone. But, this Jaguars... Fuck, bro. Like,
the 50% completion percentage again for Lawrence. Like, he fucking sucks, dude. And guess what? The guy you went against fucking sucks too.
Well, I was gonna say, as much as it sucks, they win the game. They come out on top, 17-10. This is a day where like it just doesn't feel like it was a good thing for anybody. Honestly, it was just fucking gross. This is a game I'd love to just skip, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, we can just go over it really quickly, but, I mean, ETN bailed you out with a touchdown, didn't do anything in the receiving game. Tootin bailed you out with a rushing touchdown if you played him.
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence, 0 touchdowns, 1 pick. Like, how many times have we seen that in his career? Probably like 17, 18 times at this point. He's not – I mean, he's an okay quarterback, but he's not like top 16. I'm not taking him in the top half of the league. No, he's just not good.
Well, here's what I really want to talk about. As much as I don't, if we're going to touch on the game, dude. So Parker Washington has 11 fucking targets today. What? Why? Like, someone help me understand why Travis Hunter has 2 targets in this game and Parker Washington has the same number of targets on his fucking jersey here. Like, make it make sense.
Yeah, I mean, he has more targets combined. Or the same amount of targets as Brian Thomas, Diami Brown, Travis Hunter together. And Diami Brown left this game.
I know. It's
And why is Travis Hunter only getting 2 targets?
Dude, it's a scary start for Travis Hunter, honestly.
Yeah. I think Liam Cohen's a good coordinator and all that. I think this is a Trevor Lawrence problem. I just think Trevor Lawrence sucks.
I mean, we very well could be looking at that situation. Tootin, listen, he got in the end zone, but, like, I don't know. Not a lot of work still. We have a long ways to go. ETN still dominating the backfield. We'll quickly touch on honestly, I don't even really want to touch on the Texans. We have Nico Collins, obviously. Does his thing.
Nico Collins did good, and who cares about the rest, honestly?
Yeah. Let's go to the Colts-Titans. What do you make right now of Pollard is getting a lot of work, and this offense is kind of just poo-pooed, frankly. Mm-hmm. What do you make of the Titans as a whole right now?
They lack talent. That's all it is. Like, I think J.C. Latham missed today. He was their right tackle. They drafted in the first round not too long ago. So he missed, so that didn't help things. Like, the offensive line needs help, and Cam Ward just needs help with weapons, man. Like, he just doesn't have the weapons. Like,
dude, It's
Calvin
tough.
Ridley has just been fucking disappointing.
I was gonna say, so let's go ahead. Pollard by volume will probably be fine for you in points per carry leagues. Like he's a cheap little smash play, but dude, it's bad for him. Ridley is, buddy. I mean, 7 targets today. He gets 1 for 27. It's been a rough start for him. I was pretty high on Ridley as a sneaky play
It seems like this happens every year to him. He starts off so slow.
Especially the way Cam was talking about it in the offseason, like how much of a vet he is, how much, like I was expecting, a pop week in here somewhere sprinkled in here. Listen, leading receiver today for them is Chiggy at 66. We ended up playing him correctly, I guess you'd say. But it's rough. A Minor gets the touchdown, but honestly, just an offense and a team right now at the moment anyway, I think that you just want to kind of forget. It's
I mean, Amenor has been their only offensive bright spot. He's the only one that they drafted that's played pretty good. I mean, Chimere Dike, he did have a touchdown, but it got called back on penalty for their first rushing touchdown of the year, which was interesting. But like they just lack weapons. That's all it is for the Titans. So we're probably they're heading for another like 3-13 season, and they're gonna be picking high, and they're gonna be taking, they need to take an offensive lineman, or they need to take Jordan Tyson or something. But this is like, we've seen it before. Like these teams draft a quarterback and they just don't have any weapons around them, and then year 2 they just like go all out on like whoever the best free agent wide receiver is, and free agent tight ends and running backs, and they draft a whole bunch of guys. Like they just have to redo this entire offensive supporting cast.
Yeah. On the other side, the Titans have an uphill battle. I think that's going to be the Cam Ward problem. Is not really Cam. It's the situation, and that. You think about Will Levis last year, and like a guy that was kind of incompetent, super risky running this offense. You're like, holy fuck, man, it's just a cleanup. Right. It's a total cleanup of this team. Josh Downs, man, been very underwhelming for the Downs truthers out there. What do you make of this? This is, again, he gets out-targeted pretty heftily. Granted, they don't have to do much. Again, the Colts 3-0 is a wild story. Daniel Jones playing this way is a wild story. But Josh Downs, you're telling me they're going to score as many points as they have been scoring, and having this little production early, I think, is troublesome for, Downs managers. Where are you at with Josh Downs here?
You just have to play him in matchups where they're going to be playing from behind, or it's going to be a shootout type game. Like nobody expected this game to be a shootout. Like the game script fell exactly how we thought it was going to be. The Colts were going to be up early and just keep beating on them. And that's not a game that you're playing Josh Downs. So you may have had to have played him in a couple spots due to injuries and whatnot, but like this is kind of what I expected today from Josh Downs, to be honest with you.
Yeah, JT should have a blow up. He's got the fire, buddy. Listen. This was a day I was Josh Downs, a different story. But when we get to Jonathan Taylor, there's not a matchup I was more excited to fire a guy like him up, and he delivers with the 3 touchdowns, 102 yards. I can't imagine he wasn't in most people's top 5 roughly, just because of the game script and everything and the position. But he delivered. Outside of that, it was kind of a pedestrian day for everyone except for Pittman. And Dimes just continued to be solid. This offense, I don't know if it's predictable. I want to see it versus some more good teams. But listen, it's a great start for the Colts as a whole, buddy.
They got to travel out to L.A. next week and play the Rams. So this is, I think, the Broncos game was a good game, but this is going to be one of their first like real tests here on the road, going to L.A. to play a pretty damn good Rams team too. So.
Mike's sick. There's plenty of calls he would hate to deal with today, but Tyler Warren, 3 for 38. I mean, he would be all over this. He'd be so excited. I think there's plenty of good days ahead. He still has 5 targets, but he would love to have an opportunity to shit on Tyler Warren today. Let's go ahead. We'll get through these last couple here. Listen, the Broncos Chargers. Most of my Chargers won't come up, but what happens to Najee and then having Hampton play the way he does down the stretch, I think, is the storyline of the game. I want to touch on that quickly. I'm going to put Ladd up because his hologram is working. Most of them aren't. Buddy, do we need to have a Ladd conversation? Where are you at here with this? I saw in the chat a lot of people talking about it too.
Let's see. So I thought Ladd played fine today. Like it was 7 targets, 4 for 41. I think they were kind of focusing on him today. And Keenan Allen really didn't do too much until towards the end when they started to have the throw a little bit more. That's when Keenan Allen finally started to get going. And Quinton Johnston has been damn good this year. So yeah, I think that's kind of hurt McConkey a little bit, but McConkey's still a damn good player, man. Like you're gonna have a game like this once in a while. Like AJ Brown has these games once in a while. Like it just happens. So I'm still all in on McConkey.
Okay, well, I guess here's the question, right? To me, or for I think for a lot of people, right? They're in a tight game, tightly contested game. They score 23. Here's I think the difference, at least for me, with like Ladd and where we can have the conversation. One, where he's being valued, but two, Keenan Allen, to your point, 11 targets. Quinton Johnson, 10 targets. Hampton, Gadsden, 7 apiece. Like if at least in Philly, we're consolidating the offense, right? To your point, to LA, we're consolidating the offense. Mm-hmm. This is scary to me a little bit, just because Ladd is so highly valued, and Quinton Johnson is just getting a lot of targets, man. I don't know if I'm buying into QJ per se, but I think the way in which the target and offense is being spread around just makes me a little leery of where Ladd is, because Ladd's being priced like as a top 12 receiver still. So I'm kind of curious to see if that sticks around or if people panic. I wouldn't move too much. There's not much you can do. He's still a great player, but I just don't love the volume, I think, going his way relative to the offense would be the way I would say it.
Yeah, I mean, the first couple of weeks, though, he was great, man. Like, I'm not panicked on McConkey at all. Like, he's still going to get his. They lost another offensive lineman today. Mekhi Becton left with a concussion. They already without the left tackle Slater, who tore his AC or whatever the hell he tore. And then their offensive line isn't that great. Like he got sacked 5 times in this one today. Herbert did, and he was under pressure quite a bit. So
and they throw the ball almost 50 times today too. I mean, crazy.
Yeah, which is you don't expect that from the Chargers with Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh, but they had to today, and they proved they can do it, and they're one of the better teams in the league.
I'm with you. Let's talk about this then on the other side too. Courtland Sutton just remains to be a very, very good player. Listen, he 118 and a touchdown. The one thing I will say though is like, let me ask you about let's just Bo Nix. Where are you at right now? Bo's a little bit of a slow starter here for 3 weeks. Concerned?
No, because today should have been a lot bigger. Like he overthrew Marvin Mims by like a foot, like 3 times for like 3 huge plays.
Sure.
So those should have been, he should have easily had 300 yards and like 2 more touchdowns added onto this if Marvin Mims would have came down with those balls.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sutton was the only one who did anything today. Like Troy Franklin, if you started him, he didn't do shit. But Chargers defense is for real. They're like the Browns this year. They're another really good top 5 defense.
The Chargers defense is, I don't want to say elite, but it feels kind of that way. They are big, fast, strong everywhere. It's kind of insane actually watching them for a full game. And they get a lot of the later games because of their time zone. You get to really see a lot of it. Man, they're tough. And Derwin James is fucking just, I mean, come on, a stud.
The one that scares me on the Broncos though is RJ Harvey, man. Like only 5 touches today.
RJ Harvey is a problem. It's been a problem. J.K. Dobbins. 11, 83 and a touchdown. Early on, Dobbins wasn't getting anything going, but then.
Well, yeah, those are skewed too because he caught that one pass in the flat and should have been a touchdown, but Nix threw it behind the line of scrimmage towards Dobbins, so they counted it as a run, and he broke that. They broke that for a big run. Otherwise, you take those 41 yards off of his 83,
and you're at
rushing,
10 for 40.
Yeah, he has like a 3 yards per carry, if that. So
right, yep. I guess, listen, the Steelers Saints, by and large, don't need to talk about it. Seahawks Saints, by and large, don't need to talk about it. But the Seahawks, let's talk Seahawks real quick. JSN is the only thing in this offense that I feel like is, reliable.
Yeah, you can bank on, yeah.
You're telling me that fucking Sharps is out today, buddy, and they're going to score all this many points? Kenneth Walker is, little
38 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Dude, I mean, obviously you like the 2 TDs, but like How are they mollywopping the Saints and he has 2.4 carry?
Yeah.
Tough. Horton gets in the end zone again, and I'll be kind of interested to see if he kind of gets a little more opportunities as we're going here. He looks spry, man. He's fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, he caught a touchdown and he had a 95-yard punt return. There you go. Another special teams touchdown.
Housing it, by the way. Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah, I guess, not really much else to say. Any other thoughts or comments from the week before we get out of here, buddy?
I think the one more quick game that we should hit on was the Cardinals 49ers was a really good game. Came down to the end.
Yep.
So we'll hit on that real quick.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know why I had that up and I forgot to touch on
you're
it.
good.
Marv ended up dropping a pass. This connection just hasn't been the greatest, frankly, and we're still waiting for it. He dropped that one wide open pass that really fucking just killed me watching. He ended up getting basically the same play later, but it's just been very mid for Mr. Marvin Harrison Jr. outside of week 1.
Let me ask you this, because we got a trade question on the trade show or the Start Sit show this morning.
Yeah.
And the two receivers in the deal were Harrison and Ibuka. Who are you taking straight up right now in Dynasty, Harrison or Ibuka?
It's really close. I think I'd probably take Ibuka, though.
Yeah, that's
and
where we're at.
I'll say this. The reason why is because I think right now, to me, I like to have the more movable, fluid asset. I think right now everybody's itching for Ibuka. So even if right now for me, if they're the same valued player, I feel like I'm kind of penciled into waiting for Marv to have more prove-it games before I'm actually able to probably move him in the market. I think sometimes I would just pivot to a more movable asset, even if I think they're similar.
And I've talked about this before, too. I think the Cardinals have a Kyler Murray problem. I don't think Kyler Murray's very good either. He's like in the Trevor Lawrence category for me, like 159 yards. Like if you just look at his box scores, he's never had a 4,000-yard passing season in NFL.
No,
like, just think about that. Like
I think it was
Joe Flacco's had that.
I think it was his sophomore year where he had the really good year on the ground. He had upper threes, right? And he has like 10 rushing touchdowns. 3,900
was his most. Yep.
Right. So like the trajectory he was on
never had 30 touchdown passes either.
That trajectory from that year, you're thinking, okay, this kid is like what you want to see. But then we have just kind of been into middling territory for him. I think again today they have a very good chance to win this game, frankly, and they lose it, and it's like, I'm not going to blame Kyler solely, but at the same point, it's like, dude, you're the quarterback. You're going to take the blame when this type of thing happens. The biggest thing to note, though, is this injury to James Conner. Trey Benson's opportunity, and if you held and if you're a stan and believer, this is all you could have asked for as far as opportunity. We'll see what he does with it. Is Conner done for the year? I mean, I don't know if we got actual feedback on what his injury was, but it looked pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean, he got carted away. I don't know if it's a broken leg or torn ligaments in the knee or not. I haven't seen anything confirmed on that yet, but I would assume he's done for the season.
Yeah, I mean, dude, and the one thing is a lot of times the players that are a little older, right, they just don't recover as fast typically too. So I expect this to be Trey Benson's show an opportunity moving forward. So we will see. Yeah, we will get our chance to see what Trey Benson does with that.
I mean, they did give Connor an extension in the offseason too, so we'll see how that even plays out.
Yeah, it's that was definitely tough. Listen, as far as that goes, Ricky P, man, changed his number, took the Debo number. He's number 1 now. I got the 14 up here, but dude, Ricky P just got funneled the fucking football, buddy. 11 targets today.
Literally all they have on offense is McCaffrey and Pearsall with all these injuries. Like they gave the Kendrick Bourne a little bit, but other than that, nobody else touched the ball. We were literally giving the ball to McCaffrey and Pearsall, and that is it.
Well, and here's what I'll say too, especially, right? You got this situation where Kittle's out. You got the situation where Purdy's out. So you got Mac Jones back there, and Pearsall is just getting all the opportunity. Like literally, I think the other person double digits was McCaffrey, which is not surprising. But let me just see here. Holy shit. McCaffrey had 15 fucking targets. I mean.
Yeah. And Pearsall 11 for 8 for 117.
Basically down the field was going to Pearsall, and a lot of the, short yardage stuff and quick checkdowns were going to CMC, get on the ball quick. But it'll be interesting to see what happens when, hopefully we get Kittle back and we get Purdy back and what this offense can be. But this is for what you have on this situation and the Niners winning this gross game, the takeaway, Ricky Pearsall was a great showing for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're 3-0. 3-0 with all these injuries.
Isn't that insane? And this is what I thought about with Kyler Murray. The Cardinals should be 3-0 right now, frankly. I'm sorry, but they should. But they find a way to lose some of these games where they just he doesn't get it done at the end. So that was disappointing. And I'll say this lastly. Listen, CMC for better or for worse. I mean, you talk about a guy getting 27 attempts. I had him in redrafting spots last. Where was this? Damn it! The guy's getting all of this. This is insane work. I don't know if his body's going to hold up to getting this type of work. But dude, 27 touches, 32 opportunities. That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. He's just like, if you have a league mate that has McCaffrey on his team right now and they're 1-3 or whatever it is, whatever your league records are, like, you just go and get him. Like, just trade the 2026 first for him and just ride him the rest of the year. Like, he's a beast, man. Yeah,
I think to your point, like at this point, if you see a McCaffrey on a team that's kind of in a tough situation, you might have to pay more than what you'd like. But I think at this point, it's a risky buy. But this is the type of asset that I would like to buy. A guy, again, you think about the opportunity of touches. 32 opportunities is just not really heard of in fantasy football, frankly. So it'll be interesting to see if his body holds up. But for now, ride these wins from McCaffrey for the dubs. That's really all we got today. We appreciate everyone being here, tapped in. Hope you guys are winning your matchups, unless you're playing against E and I in the grind. We will see you back here, same time, same place. We'll see if Mike's back and better and how he feels about Ibuka for Week 4. We are out of this thing. Peace.
That's it.